Alright, welcome to Falcon Blues TV. Everton 1, Brighton 1 at the Amex. Sort of feels like 2 points dropped rather than a point gained a little bit, given the opportunity that we had there last 30 minutes. But let's look at the game, properly. I mean, the first half we were shocking. Again, I think they had like 8 corners in the first half. I mean, we did well. We mopped it up and we cleared up after them. There was no agency throughout. We weren't in any kind of danger or risk of losing and letting the game slip away from us. We had a couple of chances there, maybe in fact, did we? No, we didn't have a shot on goal. I was about to say we felt all right having a shot on goal. We didn't have a shot on goal at all in the first half. Nothing on target. 1 yellow card, so we were winning the yellow cards at this point. Just wasn't good enough. We couldn't string a pass together. Story of our season: 2-3 passes and then the ball's in the opposition possession, and that's just not good enough again for a team that is struggling for goals, struggling for any kind of form. So second half, much of the same really for long periods. And then it's come down to, we've had 3 chances on goal and one of them is your centre-back. Which, you've got to look at that and go, there's a problem. Calvert-Lewin feeding on scraps again. McNeil, Harrison not involved. Garner probably a bit better this in the second half. Put the ball on a plate for Branthwaite at midway through the second half. They probably could have, was it late on? It was late on actually, because Beto was on the pitch, wasn't he? Beto could have done something, and Branthwaite, misses that as he's sliding in. But Branthwaite scored an absolute peach. And if he wasn't a centre-back and he wasn't so good as a centre-back, you'd have thrown him up front for the last 20 minutes. Ball's come down, he's taken one touch and it got the shot out with his left foot and absolutely top binned it. And after that, obviously we saw Billy Gilmore getting sent off. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of to and fro as to whether it was a foul or whether it was a red card. He's gone down the back of his the back of his leg, and down his ankle. It's a red card. Calvert-Lewin got sent off for much less against Crystal Palace. So for the first time since about 2019, we had more men on the pitch than the opposition for the change. They were down to 10 men. And that's where it just fell apart for Everton. I don't think we capitalised on that one-man advantage. I think we struggled to get back into the game after that. You would think that we were the ones down to 10 men. We just gifted them the ball far too much. It just got far too open. People are going to point to saying, well, he brought Ashley Young on for like the last 10 minutes. He's a defender. That's what he's there for. Probably Godfrey would be more at fault, but Lewis Dunk's header, I don't know. He's a groch. He's won the header, and then maybe Pickford could have done better. I don't know. Is he blindsided by Tarkowski? I don't know. But it's this in-game management that's got to be looked at. Really, I'm sure you'll agree with me. And this is something that I mentioned even against Palace. We've shown up there. We haven't been great. We've snatched the goal and we've had the lead. We took the lead, and for the 94th minute, he scored. Brighton are scoring an equaliser, and you're going, well, why weren't we shutting that out earlier? Why weren't we stopping that cross? You can point to loads of things, but there's also all these things of, well, one, where did 9 minutes come from, and where is where's the we were just sat too deep for a team that was a man up, and that's what the disappointing thing is with this Everton side. We've sat back on a 1-0 lead. Dice is bringing us there not to lose games, which is great. I'm happy to set up like that, but we need to also win games. Don't lose the game by any stretch, but at least win the game. We've now gone, it's another draw. You just wonder where we'd be with those 6 points. If we'd got max points today and the same against Crystal Palace, if we just apply ourselves. Like I said before, McNeil, Harrison were very, very, I don't know, non-existent, tired, not interested. I don't know what the problem is here. I think there's Dobbins sat on the bench, Chimity sat on the bench. I don't know, maybe it's time to take McNeil out for a game or two. I know he wants to rely on him because he works hard when he's got the ball, but just think that at the moment he's not the right player to be in this team. But again, this is Dyche's changes, Dyche's choices, and he was forced to make that change for Onana today to bring Gana Gay off because he was injured, and thankfully it paid off because Onana just. I mean, I'm not as big as fan. I've always said that, but I think today and against Palace, he's turned both games, and you know that. Whilst I say I'm not as big as fan, that's what I want to see from him. I want to see him impose himself on a game, but I haven't seen enough of that for me to be convinced by him. But the last couple of games, he's shown that he's capable of doing it. Whether he's still carrying a little knock, I don't know. We need to they probably need to assess that, and we'll probably hear more from Dyche as to why he didn't give him the full 90. Hopefully, we'll see him back at West Ham because we need him in that midfield. I think if Decore's not fully fit, then he needs someone there. He needs to build his midfield, and Onana is probably the perfect foil to build around. Look, Gabe was alright, did a lot of running as he always does, but he's gone off injured and it's been forced. It's not been this is a tactical change because we can't string a pass together. It's been he's injured, I've got to make a change. He wouldn't have made that change until about 85 minutes if he'd have given the opportunity. So I think his in-game management needs a lot of work. I know he's hamstrung with a lot of players being injured and a lot of players being out of form and not scoring goals. But he's got to do more to bring this team into Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Beto, and to a lesser extent even Chimity. So, like I say, 1-1. If you give me 1-1 to start the game, I'd probably snapped your hand off. Probably if you'd have asked me at 70 minutes, would you take 1-1? I was probably hoping we were playing with a bit more confidence and a little bit more, a bit more about us and a bit stronger, a bit level-headed, than we've thrown that away today, I think. And I do think that's a definite 2 points dropped. On the flip side, again, it's a 1-1 draw against a very good Brighton side who was 7th and just put 5 past, was it 5 or 6 past Sheffield United last week. But again, this is another weekend where we've had the chance to capitalise on something. Palace had players out and no manager today. Brighton had a lot of players out. Matoma, for one, who I think is fantastic. He's a big miss, but Brighton stuck together and stuck to the guns, and they've ground out a result against us when probably they could another time they probably would have put 4 or 5 past us. So there's two sides to every story as to how you feel about this. But let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. What the fucking toffees, Colin Chong. See you at West Ham.